What's up, everyone? This is Blake with Kinetic, hitting you guys with another quick update. Was able to push offshore on Monday. The weather was phenomenal. Went out with Fussaki. He really wanted to get his son his first yellowtail off a kelp paddy. We knew that if we did find a kelp out there, it was going to be holding a pretty good amount of yellowtail with the recent reports. While we're out there looking around for kelp paddies, if we stumbled across some bluefin, great. If we didn't, oh well, wasn't really the primary goal. But if we were able to find some, we were ready. Turned out to be a pretty awesome day. I'll run through a few things. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, getting into this first dive. Once we hit the zone, we noticed some signs of life out there. We saw some shearwaters bunched up, kind of sitting around some bait balls that the bluefin were puddling on. We crept towards one of those, ended up getting a pretty good sonar mark. Once I got the green light, I slid out of the boat and cleared the gun of the lines. Looked down, saw fish already, took a couple big breaths and started descending into the school. As I was descending, I was sizing up the grade of fish inside this school. It looked smaller to me. This isn't very uncommon to see with this size of fish. It's going to boom in and out from every direction, quickly, slowly. It's going to do a mix of things, so it can be kind of difficult to acquire one of these fish to take a shot on. I was kind of holding out, seeing if there were any larger stuff moving through, but it looked pretty uniform, so I decided to go ahead and pick one out and take the shot. Got a great shot off with the K67 Hydra center line. Definitely going to be a good holding shot. I was just making sure the fish didn't swim up around me and tangle me up. Came up nice and easy. Once I got up on the surface, I let Fussaki know I had a fish on, threw my arm through the band, swam to the float, started pulling the fish up. It wasn't running too hard. I hurt the fish pretty bad. So I was able to get the fish over to the boat pretty quick and handed up the bungee, and Fussaki was able to pull the fish up to the boat.
Pull hard, hard. Boom!
Dude, I'm totally bummed. I was like,
Did you see how there's so many?
Kept moving my gun, and then finally I'm like, oh, I think I can get that one. I don't even know.
I forgot to mention that Ryan was out on the boat with us that day. That's Fussaki's buddy up from Orange County. He hopped out of the boat on that dive as well, had the bluefin come up around him, but it didn't work out for him. But we were able to make up for that drop later on that day. Had the first fish on the boat. We were all pretty happy. So we loaded back up and reset and pushed on to find the next spot. And it didn't take too long until we found the next one. About a quarter-mile away, we saw the same thing, some shearwater sitting on the surface, a couple bluefin puddling around. We rolled over to it, got another great sonar mark, got the green light, slid out, looked down, saw the fish, descended once again, had the same thing happen. They kind of boomed up around me. This time I was going to be extra patient and really fill out this school. As you can see, they came basically point blank here. They looked to be about the same grade. I knew Ryan was in the water as well. I didn't want to take a shot on one of these since I had already landed one. I didn't want to spook out his shot. Sometimes if your buddy takes a shot, the fish will just boom out and they'll get a little squirrely after that. So I didn't want to screw it up for him, so I let those go, hoping that he was able to take a shot and get one on the boat.
Did he get one? Aww. I didn't shoot, dude.
So it turns out Ryan had missed his shot. I said before that it can be very difficult to select one of these fish out of a tightly bunched up school like this. The bluefin, they do that as a tactic to confuse predators. It's very hard to select one of these fish in a large group moving quickly. This is the drop I had just taken, slowed down to half speed. These fish are bunched up pretty tight. You got to be able to really hone in on that fish that you pick out and take a good holding shot. These fish are pretty soft. The skin's really thin, so if you don't get a good holding shot on this smaller grade stuff, they will most likely tear off. Moving on with the day, as we slid south from our start point, the viz did start to deteriorate. As you can tell here, it was pretty blue where we started to get a little hazy and even a little green. We were finally able to locate a good paddy that was holding some decent sized yellowtail. Mixed up grade, there are some smaller rats, but you can see that there are a few yellows in there that are definitely worth taking a shot on. So Fussaki's son suited up, hopped in, and he began approaching the kelp paddy so that he could pick off one of these nice yellows. However, as we were messing around with these yellowtails, some bluefin popped up not too far away from this paddy, so I quickly grabbed Fussaki's son, swam him over, kind of coached him through real quick. He took a dive, dove down into the school. The fish boomed up around him. He had a lot of patience on not taking the first shot, was able to wait for another fish to come closer, took a shot. I kind of screwed up here. I didn't get the shot on film because I was just so stoked that he went from going to take his first yellowtail off a kelp paddy to shooting his first bluefin off basically a kelp paddy, which is really awesome. And it was such a cool thing to be in the water with him to experience that. So he comes up from that shot. He's super stoked. I'm super stoked. Can't believe what just happened. I shout over to Fussaki that he didn't shoot a yellowtail, he shot a tuna, and we're all just basically in disbelief of what happened. But I ended up grabbing the gun from him, kind of told him to what to do with the bungee. He hurt the fish really bad. He ended up taking a super solid holding shot, center line. Fish hardly had any fight in it at all. So I just kind of coached him on pulling up that bungee nice and slow as we worked it over to the boat, keeping all that slack bungee behind him so that it wouldn't wrap up. And while we were messing with that bungee, Ryan was able to break free of that paddy and was able to drop down and also shoot one of these tuna. It's kind of hard to see in the video right there, but the fish were still schooling down at like 30 to 40 feet. So yeah, Ryan was able to dive down, took another solid holding shot, was able to get his first bluefin. Completely unexpected. Went from diving on a kelp paddy to shooting bluefin. It's definitely happened in the past. Even cow-sized 200 plus pound bluefin have been shot off of paddies before in Southern California when the bluefin are migrating through the zone. So having two divers double up on bluefin off a kelp paddy with yellowtail everywhere is definitely a great sign for things this season. We ended up getting the fish over to the boat. Ryan jumped in to help out. The fish got its second wind when it saw the boat and saw everybody. So got a little squirrel there for a second, made it a little more fun, a little more exciting for Fussaki's son. And once again, I'm just extremely impressed with Fussaki's son's ability to go down to a school of fish like that and, you know, listen to everything I had told him for 5 seconds before the dive. You know, go down, let the fish come in, don't take the first shot. If you don't feel comfortable, pull the gun back in. He did just that. That next wall of fish came by, gave him a perfect shot, textbook. He extended out and took an easy shot, and it can be very, very difficult for people to do that on their first experience with bluefin like that. Fussaki and I both know this. Super proud dad moment for Fussaki. I was glad to be a part of it. So here is his son's own recap of what happened.
Yeah, but it was murky, so I had to dive down to like actually get clear.
So you could see him a little better?
Yeah.
Get like same level of him? So how deep do you think that was?
How deep?
Yeah.
No more than like less than 15 feet, no less than 15.
Okay.
I mean,
Then?
no more than 15 feet.
And then what happened when you dove?
I saw one, it was pretty big. I was chasing it since I think it was like one of the last ones, but the gun was too heavy. So I stopped for a sec, and then the new score just, like a new wave just came. So I shot the closest one.
That's awesome. That was so great.
And then what happened after you shot it?
I forgot.
You what?
I forgot.
What do you mean forgot? What does that mean?
I forgot.
Forgot. Oh, I saw you guys all pop up excited, Nikes.
After enjoying that experience together, we took a few quick pictures and videos, got the fish on ice, and got everything reset. It took us a little while to find the next kelp paddy. There weren't a lot of kelp paddies in the area, but the ones we did find were holding a lot of yellowtail. So I grabbed the K45, hopped in, took some time to really enjoy this school before picking one of these fish out. Once again, there really is no rush to take that first shot. The school was nice and relaxed. I was looking for those one or two larger fish within this school to target. After several minutes of observing this school, I decided to take one. Got a great shot off with the K45, went through the fish pretty much center line. Not the biggest yellowtail, but definitely enough for one or two people to eat a few poke bowls and have a nice plate of sashimi. So I began pulling that fish up. It's pretty common to see the yellowtail want to go back into that kelp paddy. This fish was hurt pretty bad, but normally you want to do your best to kind of keep that fish out of the kelp depending on how good your shot is. You don't want to horse it too much, but if you can, do it. Once they get wrapped up into that kelp, it can take quite a while to untangle all that and get back in the boat and get reset. While I was securing my yellowtail and getting it bled out, the school was still swimming around, so Ryan was able to get down there and get a shot off as well. I believe he landed one off this kelp paddy. The sport boats were in the area that day. That's the larger charter boats out of San Diego. It seemed like they've been hitting these paddies for the last few days. A few of the paddies we did jump on, the fish were pretty spooky. The longer you stayed on the paddy and the more drops you did trying to take a shot, the more skittish the fish became to eventually to where it was kind of impossible. So we just decided to move on from a few paddies. But this paddy cooperated. So we ended up getting a few more nice fish in the boat kind of as the day came to an end. We had been on the water for probably 6 or 7 hours at this point. We weren't trying to do a full day. We were maybe looking at doing like a 3/4 day because Fussaki was moving his boat into a new marina. So we didn't want to stay out there super late. So we were trying to wrap things up to start buttoning up the boat and head back. All in all, it was a great day. Fussaki's son got his first bluefin. We all got some yellowtail off a kelp paddy. Ryan got his first bluefin. I got a bluefin. The weather was absolutely fantastic. We couldn't ask for a better day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a quick recap on the dive last Monday. Looking forward to getting out there and getting into more action this summer. It's going to be a great year. Hope to see you guys out there. Enjoy.
What do you think?
It's like filet mignon.
Is it iron? Or no, steak, meat, but how does it taste?
With a little penny marinade.
It's like filet mignon. You know, it's like beef tartare, but better. You'll make good money for this.
I saw you.
Oh, you gotta eat it. Good. There's the best lean meat.
Kinetic. Photo shoot. Guidance. Let's go. Let's go get
Finish
some
this
big
whole
ones.
thing.